Hey everybody, today Rahdo runs down Suburbia Collector's Edition. And now, let me start out by saying that Suburbia is widely regarded by many people as the greatest modern SimCity inspired board game there is. And I have no problem with people making that proclamation because Suburbia is phenomenal. It is a great game. It is all about drafting tiles that represent different features that you could add to your suburbs. Everybody has their own suburb. Slotting them together in a really fun, intricate clockwork tile laying puzzle, and maintaining your economy, your income versus your population. Super sharp game. One of the best. Suburbia has been in my top 100 games for years, and it's not going anywhere. So recently, I believe it got its 10th anniversary super mega deluxe collector's edition, and wow. This is such a step up in terms of production over the original Suburbia. It broke my heart, but I got rid of my original Suburbia, signed by Ted Alspach, the designer himself. Signed by Ted. I got rid of that to make room on my shelf for the deluxe edition because, well, the whole game has gotten a graphical makeover. It is so much more better presented now. The suburb you're building really comes to life in a much more meaningful way. It's less abstract and blueprinty and more, I can actually see the thing I'm building, and that's lovely. And while I personally am not the biggest fan of ginormous boxes, because hey, I was able to fit all the expansions for Suburbia in the original Little Suburbia box, I do have to say, all the trays that everything is broken up into makes playing Suburbia so much more pleasant now. Because I've talked about this in the past with some of the expansions when I covered them. One of the problems with Suburbia is you get more and more expansions, it gets more and more of a pain to set the game up. Because if you're going to bring in stuff from an expansion, you have to take out an equal number of stuff from the base game to keep everything balanced. And that's just kind of a bummer to have to do. But the organizational way that this collector's edition is put together makes that a much less onerous task. And that has a direct impact on the overall gameplay quality. But putting the storage system aside, the presentation of this new is through the roof. It's got to have one of the greatest presentations of any modern Euro, and with good reason, because Suburbia deserves it. It makes a lot of people's top 10 of all time, with good reason. This is a tile drafting game. In the old game, I bought one and then that goes out. All the other ones have to be slid over and a new one comes out. Now, all the tiles are kept kind of on this carousel that makes that less onerous and burdensome. It just keeps, it's just fun to buy something and slide everything over. And your upcoming tiles are not just kept in a bunch of individual stacks. They're kept in a gigantic tower. It kind of almost feels like a Vegas style thing that the cards come out of. It's really super impressive. And I mean, and the art is great. I didn't check. I think all the tiles are a little bit bigger than they used to be, so you have a better overall presentation. The scoreboard is much easier to read than it used to be. Everything about the quality of play is improved, even though they didn't change the rules at all. They just improved the components, not only for looks, but also to enhance gameplay. And I gotta say, hats off to them. They did an amazing job. And if all that weren't enough, right now I'm just talking about the collector's edition you can go out and buy. But there were some additional Kickstarter exclusive things that make the game even easier to play. And if you're interested in those, they are for sale now. In addition, if you get the collector's edition, there's some things you don't get. But you can find out more about that on Bezier's webpage, because you can buy those things separately. And I want to get those too. Like little miniatures that makes it easier to at a glance scan to see if there's any restaurants out there or airports or whatever. Because a big part of Suburbia is, hey, as I'm building up my suburb, I have to pay attention to what's in your suburb, because what I put in mine might affect you and vice versa. So, long story short, this is the way you do a collector's edition. It's amazing presentation, amazing packaging, and if all that weren't enough, also some new content as well. There's a new mini expansion that comes called Suburbia Nightlife. I forget what it is. Is it like a couple dozen new tiles and that are all nighttime based? Some of them just, things that happen at night, like a pawn shop, or you tend to think of more, after hours type things, and also scary stuff, like there's some supernatural werewolfy type stuff and whatnot too. Which of course is appropriate because it's from Bezier Games, the werewolf people. But Suburbia's always had a sense of humor like that, and it continues to. So the Nightlife expansion is nice. The thing I like most about it is it really integrates with all the other expansions really, really well. That has not always been the case. Like I was saying earlier, it's kind of a pain to have to pull stuff out to put stuff in, but it feels like these nightlife tiles will just pretty much always work however they get mixed in, and you'll never feel like, oh, this doesn't work if this other thing isn't in the game. So I think it is reflective of the fact that they've gotten really good at designing content for Suburbia. And as far as I know, the only way to get this new nightlife, or is it nighttime? I think it's nightlife expansion, is as part of this Super Collector's Edition. And like I said, folks, I mean, it was heartbreaking to get rid of my original one, my first printing edition signed by Ted himself, but the overall experience is so improved. I had to do it. And that's Suburbia Collector's Edition, folks. Thanks for watching. Have a very nice day. Talk to you later. So long. Bye-bye.